Conor, shame on you. Shame on the ones that have ignored him.
Fight this weekend is off. Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr.
Johnny Nelson just tore Conor Benn's image to shreds after he pulled out of the Eubank Jr. showdown just 3 days before the April 26th war. Johnny didn't hold back, saying Benn ran scared from facing Chris Eubank Jr. and couldn't handle the pressure of a real challenge. Nelson didn't just criticize, he went nuclear, calling it the most shameful duck British boxing has seen in years. With drug test drama erupting again, Johnny lit him up, saying Benn's no warrior, he's a walking scandal. He ripped into the timing, claiming Conor waited till fans were hyped, tickets sold out, and cameras rolling, then vanished. According to Nelson, this isn't misfortune, it's deliberate deception. Benn didn't just pull out, he humiliated the sport when it needed him most.
With this fight as well, of it not happening.
Johnny Nelson didn't hold back, tearing into Conor Benn for pulling out of the fight. He slammed Benn for using the failed drug test as an excuse, saying it was clear Benn was scared to face Chris Eubank Jr. When the pressure got real, Conor ran from the challenge. Johnny fully supported Eubank, calling him the true professional who stood ready for battle while Benn couldn't handle the heat. This wasn't just a pullout, it was a disgrace. Eubank Jr. deserves better than being dragged into Benn's mess. Johnny made it clear, Benn's actions are a stain on boxing. Was Conor Benn right to pull out, or is this the end of his career? Drop your thoughts below.
Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn has been officially postponed.
Hearn just exploded, and the boxing world is watching the wreckage burn. Conor Benn didn't just pull out, he detonated a ticking time bomb that shattered every ounce of trust left in him. With only days to go before the colossal showdown with Chris Eubank Jr., Benn ran for the hills, triggering an avalanche of backlash. Eddie Hearn, once Benn's fiercest defender, finally snapped. After defending him through not one, but 2 failed drug tests, Hearn dropped the hammer, publicly distancing himself and slamming Benn for embarrassing the sport. He called Eubank Jr. the only real professional left in this circus and praised his discipline while Benn turned everything into chaos. Fans were ready, broadcasters were locked in, the hype was electric, then Benn torched it all with a coward's exit. This wasn't just a cancellation, it was career suicide in real time. Hearn's fury made it crystal clear, Conor Benn didn't lose a fight, he lost the damn sport.
Spoken since this has been announced, and it's a shame, you know.
Chris Eubank Jr. finally broke his silence, and he didn't hold back. He shredded Conor Benn's reputation with pure venom. With the fight just days away, Chris exposed the bitter truth. Benn vanished like a coward, no explanation, no accountability, just straight up vanished. Chris called it what it is, a shameful act of fear. After all the trash talk, all the buildup, and all the hype, Conor simply walked away when it mattered most. Chris didn't sugarcoat it, he showed up, stayed clean, stayed ready, while Benn crumbled under pressure and ran for cover. This wasn't a pullout, it was an embarrassment. Fans were robbed, boxing was disrespected, and Chris made it crystal clear. Benn folded like paper.
It's very disappointing, and obviously I was very shocked with what I saw.
Smith didn't hold back, and he just set the record straight. He called out the entire debacle, stating boxing has no place for drug cheats and fighters who run when the pressure's on. Adam made it clear that the sport is bigger than any individual, and that those who tarnish its reputation with failed drug tests or pull out like cowards have no future in the game. He slammed Conor Benn for pulling out of the fight against Chris Eubank Jr., claiming it was clear to everyone. Benn was scared. The tension was too much for him, and rather than stepping into the ring, he ran from the challenge. Adam went on to point out that the boxing world can't afford to let such behavior slide. A fighter like Benn, who has already been caught twice for failing drug tests, should never be allowed to continue without consequences. Conor's actions were nothing less than a disgrace to the sport, and Smith made it crystal clear. There's no room for cowards or cheats in boxing.
That he's been caught not once but twice, then take his license.
McKenzie just ripped into Conor Benn with zero mercy and maximum rage. In one of the most brutal verbal uppercuts yet, Duke shredded Benn's image, accusing him of disgracing the sport by walking away just days before the biggest war of his career. He didn't just fold, he crumbled like a coward. Duke didn't hold back, pointing out Benn's double drug test disasters and slamming his latest pullout as a coward's calculated exit strategy, not a moment of panic. He didn't call it misfortune, he called it manipulation. According to Duke, Benn has mocked the system, spit on the rules, and now deserves a lifetime ban. He demanded demanded the British Boxing Board erase his license for good, making it clear there's no redemption left. This wasn't fear of Eubank, it was fear of exposure. Duke declared Conor unworthy of the ring, a stain on the sport, and now boxing must make an example out of him.
Twice for doing the same thing. So if it was me, take his license away. You know, because you cannot cheat in the sport of boxing.
Kenzie didn't just call out Conor Benn, he buried him with a brutal takedown that shook the boxing world. He unleashed pure fury, tearing into Benn for failing 2 drug tests and then bailing on the fight like a frightened rookie. Duke made it crystal clear this wasn't some freak mistake, it was calculated cheating, a deliberate act that spit in the face of every clean fighter. He demanded Benn's license be destroyed permanently, warning that if the sport lets him back in, it loses every ounce of credibility. According to Duke, Conor Benn isn't just a problem, he's an infection that needs to be cut out before it rots boxing from the inside. This wasn't just shameful, it was humiliating for the sport. And now, with Duke's ruthless call ringing loud,
the British Boxing Board of Control are not happy to go through with the fight because he has failed his drugs.
Spencer Oliver savagely tore into Conor Benn, holding him fully responsible for the fight's cancellation. He exposed how the British Boxing Board of Control refused to sanction the bout after Benn once again failed a drug test, throwing the entire event into chaos. Spencer didn't sugarcoat a thing. He called Benn's actions disgraceful and accused him of humiliating the sport on a global stage. In his eyes, this wasn't just a pullout, it was a full-blown scandal that shattered the fight and betrayed every fan waiting for war. Spencer made it crystal clear the fight was canceled because of Benn's dirty legacy. Spencer's brutal takedown was just the beginning, because right after him, Adam Catterall stepped in and doubled down on the humiliation, torching Conor Benn for destroying the fight and standing firmly behind Chris Eubank Jr. in the aftermath of this boxing disaster.
Actually upset. I felt disrespected that this young punk, that's how I felt.
Eubank Jr. exploded with raw emotion after Conor Benn pulled out at the last moment, calling the whole fiasco not just disappointing, but downright disrespectful. He made it clear this wasn't just a missed fight, it was a spit in the face of everything boxing stands for. Chris said he felt insulted, humiliated by Benn's cowardly exit, especially after staying disciplined, clean, and ready, while Benn's past kept haunting the fight. The buildup was intense, the fans were ready, and Chris trained like a warrior, but just when it was time to go to war, Benn bailed. Eubank Jr. didn't hold back. He promised he won't let this slide, declaring that Benn's actions won't be forgotten and that justice must be served in the ring. This wasn't a professional decision. It was a move drenched in fear. Chris said it loud. This is personal now, and when the time comes, he'll make Benn pay for every bit of this disgrace.
The decision to formally postpone the bout between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn.
Catterall came out swinging with pure fire, tearing into Conor Benn for triggering a total collapse just days before the fight. He called out Benn for his reckless behavior, saying that it wasn't bad luck, but pure negligence that led to the disaster. Adam pointed out that Benn was the one who caused the mess by failing drug tests and creating unnecessary drama. He exposed how Benn ran from the challenge when the pressure was too much, leaving promoters, broadcasters, and fans with no choice but to step back. Adam emphasized how Benn's actions tarnished the entire buildup, ruining what could have been one of the biggest fights in recent memory. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. stood firm, maintaining professionalism and focus despite the chaos. Adam made it clear, Benn didn't just cancel a fight, he destroyed everything the sport stood for and left a dark stain on British boxing. The truth is undeniable. Benn's decision to pull out was a disgrace, and it has left fans furious. What are your thoughts on Benn's actions? Was this a cowardly move or a mistake he can't recover from? Drop a comment below and let us know, and subscribe our channel for more videos.